Hey, how's it going? How are you today? I am I'm doing better. Excuse me, I'm doing better than I was last night. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. I hope you're well. It's Jules here with Out of Your Comfort Zone. Yesterday was one of those rough days. Started bad, it started off kind of rough in the morning, and then throughout the day it just kind of get worse and worse and worse. And then, by nighttime I was having a PTSD episode, and it was really bad. But I had the whole point again. I know I keep reiterating this, and it's in all of my descriptions and stuff, but I feel like it's important to reiterate that this webcast is not about perfection as a performer, entertainer, or anything as a human being. It's about being okay with not being perfect and still being able to find success. I've been in the entertainment industry professionally since I was a teenager, but even before then, as a child, I was always a perfectionist. I had to do everything right. I had to figure everything out right then and there, otherwise I'd have a meltdown. So this webcast, I started it for a bunch of different reasons. One of which, of course, is to be able to see how I function, see the difference between taking the pressure of perfection off of myself and what I could create versus going the same way I always go, which is going through the process, using the parameters, using the foundation, all that kind of stuff that I've always relied on, and to see just how differently my mediums are. So for this webcast, it's one thing I did. One thing I made sure I told myself about, that if I was going to do this, I had to be completely open and honest about everything, all the time, whether it was good or bad. Because part of my issues is that I've always hidden my pain, my struggles, my frustration as much as I can, my anxiety, my depression, all of that stuff. I hid it all the time because my experience told me that if I let anybody see it, it was a sign of weakness. It would be used against me. It would be, it was a bad thing. So I just learned to just kind of suck everything up and stuff it down, and you can only do that so long. And then after leaving a bad marriage and everything, things, just plummeted, and I'm learning and I'm evolving to be a better person, a more confident person, secure person, without having to sacrifice myself and my health to be a perfectionist and, doing something great, try to do something good or great or whatever. So as bad as yesterday was, at first I wasn't sure I wanted to go on and the way I was, in the state I was, and share those things with you. But that was my promise to myself, to you, and to my webcast, is that I would be honest and I would share those struggles and everything, because it's not just about me. It's about other people. It's about you. It's about other people who are struggling with similar things, and to know that there's somebody else out there who is going through what you're going through, or can identify with that, is a huge thing sometimes, especially when you don't feel like there is anybody else that understands or can feel or has any clue, fathom what you're dealing with. And especially with something like PTSD or even depression, anxiety, whatever it is, it just people think that, and I used to be one of those people. I used to think too, it's just like, if I'm aware of it, then fix it. What's the problem? But what happened was, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy to just fix things, even though I knew there was a problem. Because the thing was, I wasn't dealing with those problems. I was just accepting them, forgiving whoever I needed to forgive, and push on and just move past it, instead of dealing with it and figuring out what it was doing for me and doing to me and dealing with that part of it. So anyways, I appreciate those of you who were on last night and were being supportive when it was really, really hard for me, and I really thank you for that. So today, I wanted to do something more fun, more like I intended. I wanted to start off with some, drop some philosophy on you, and it's today's quote is from Andrew Murphy, who's an Australian athlete. And his quote is, "You are confined only by the walls you build yourself." And I completely agree with that 100%. And something similar that I say is, when I look inside of myself, there's the universe. I'm limitless. There's nothing I can't do. There's nothing, that can stop me. It's only me. As long as, there's no box. Never knew there was a box. So that whole saying just was confusing to me for a long, long time, and realized, oh, well, I didn't realize there was a box I was supposed to be stuck in. Why would I do that? Just like labels. Why would I label myself something? I have to carry that around forever and make sure I keep standing under this big sign that says I'm X, Y, or Z kind of person. No, I have a name for a reason. That's my label. My label is Julie. That's it. That's my label. That's my name. So don't wear it out. No, it's fine. At any rate, you are confined only by the walls you build yourself. So, and I know it's not easy for everybody. It isn't. It's kind of a learned behavior. I think for some people, for me, it came naturally. I've just been a driven person. I know what my path is. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's entertainment, and media in any sort of fashion. Any medium, any way. Live, recorded, on stage. On TV, on webcast, podcast, radio, whatever it is. I'm a performer and an entertainer. That's what I do. That's what I was created for. So I feel like I'm limitless, and I'm telling you, you too, you are limitless. Don't build any walls. Don't allow people to pigeonhole you into something that you're not. Especially don't go under. Don't take a label. Don't fall under any label to describe yourself, because you're just you. You're you, as magnificent and wonderful as you are, and that's it. So you are an individual. You're not part of the collective. If you're a Star Trek fan, then you know what I mean by the collective. Resistance is futile. All right, anyways. So there were different things I kind of wanted to share, but anyways, I did want to, again, let's go back to checking in. So I am much better than last night, thank you. And I am starting to feel already the panic and the anxiety and the fear, the doubt, and some of that depression's already building up. It's just some of the traumas are starting to push through a little bit, so it's been kind of a struggle just to do the few things I have to do today. There's more things I have to do today, but another thing I've learned is to limit myself on what I'm doing, so I'm not just killing myself doing a bunch of shit that I know I have to get done. Just what I can do, what I feel up to doing, what I have the resources to do, and stick with that and be okay with that. And that's been a tremendous help for me. That's really helped change things for me and get me moving in the right direction. So today is National Devil Dog Day. And if you don't know what a devil dog is, oh my gosh, you have to go find out. Okay, so it's this like chocolate hot dog thing, right? So it's like two long, buns or pieces of chocolate cake with, cream, with vanilla cream inside, right? So, so I wanted to say that would be a perfect, as a cannabis patient, a medical marijuana patient, I will tell you that the devil dog is like the best thing to probably have as a snack for cannabis. Yes. It's so chewy and spongy and creamy and yummy and yay. And everything tastes so much better when you're medicated. Right? Like everything looks better, everything smells better, everything feels better, everything tastes better. I mean, you can watch like a mediocre movie and be like, oh my god, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen. So anyways, well, cannabis is great for a lot of, all joking aside, it's really helpful for me, and I haven't been able to afford it, but it is, it's great. So I did want to share, though, a funny story. So I am involved with a couple of other podcasts, and one, again, I'm giving him a shout out to Wellness Wednesdays, Pep Talks with Josh and Maria, Rand, Lily, and myself are all part of it. And so a couple weeks ago, we were getting ready to do the show. Now, I've had plenty of gummies, and I know how they affect me, right? What I didn't take into consideration, what I wasn't thinking about, was that my tolerance had gone down quite a bit because it had been a while. Like I said, with the pandemic and everything, it's been difficult to find work, so I haven't been able to afford any cannabis. Not to any sort of degree, so I, had a gummy. And So we start doing the podcast, right? Okay. So we're in the podcast and the time starts slowing down. I'm like, God, where are we in this? How long has it been? Has it been like 90 minutes? It's only supposed to be like a 50-minute show. What is going on? So as time goes by really, really slow. Okay, now aside from that, I start feeling like I can't keep my eyes open. And then my head starts nodding and doing this. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, okay, just be cool. There can't be much longer to this podcast. I mean, it's been going on for like ever. It's got to be ending soon. And I'm like, oh no. And then suddenly it got really, really hot. And then I thought to myself, and then my stomach started to lurch. I'm like, oh, motherfucker, son of a bitch, not now. I can't believe this is happening. So I had to get up and run to the restroom, where I remained for God knows how long. Every single time I tried to open my eyes, I tried to move or anything, the room would spin. So I was leaning on, so I had my head on the toilet, partway in the toilet. And it wasn't like it, I didn't have like anything on my stomach or in my stomach really. So all that was coming up were little green dots. So it was like dry heaving and little green dots that were popping up, and that was it for God knows how long. I have no idea how long it was there. But I want to thank Maria Malik for taking care of me, making sure it's okay. And finally, when I was finally able to get up, I made it over into the house, and I'm sitting down, and we watched Almost Famous, and thank God for her. She had gave me this big bowl of pretzels, which was perfect because I'm like, I've been puking or dry heaving. I need something to settle my stomach. And that's the thing that's messed up. Okay, so let me say this first. Cannabis has never, ever, 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 ever killed anybody ever. And you can't OD on it or anything like that. You usually, it's just, you go to sleep, or you, like me, like if you, were binge drinking on grain alcohol and realized it was too much, too late. Yeah, it was that kind of thing. So I ended up, like I said, I was just puking my guts out the bile inside of me for like I don't know how long, and that was all because I took 80 milligrams of indica gummy, which again normally wouldn't do a whole lot for me. It would make me feel pretty good and calm me down, but I had forgotten I had zero tolerance at that point. So yeah, so lesson learned, when you are trying something new, especially when it comes to cannabis, you start low and go slow, but just a little trick to keep in mind if you ever end up in a position like me with your head hanging in the toilet. Don't worry, you're not going to die. You're not going to, you want to, believe me, you would want to, because it's so similar to like drinking too much. At least that's the way it was for me. Like the first time, because this is the very first time it happened, was I made brownies back in my 20s, and I was puking my guts out for hours with that. Okay. So this was only the second time that cannabis has ever made me sick. So you just got to be careful. And if you do end up over medicating, it's easy. Just make sure you have some CBD on hand, right? Some good, real CBD, not stuff like you buy at the gas station or something like that, but reputable CBD that you most likely buy online. And that way you can take that, and that'll counteract the THC high. Well, the high and the, all the effects. It won't necessarily, it'll clear your head a little bit more. It'll probably settle your stomach, and you'll still have a body high, most likely, but you won't feel so messed up. Okay. So anyway, so that was my experience. Now, again, I've been, a cannabis user on and off for a while. I should have known better, and I did it. And the best part was I gave my buddy this look like, do I look like a pussy to you? when he's like, I don't know if you should take that because there's like 80 milligrams of 80 milligrams in there. And I gave him this look like, and I could not stop thinking about that look for all week long. I was like, oh my God, I'm such an asshole. I gave him this look that made him, really, you're questioning me and that kind of thing. And I felt like such an asshole over that. So, but I deserved it. So I got what I deserved. And it was hilarious. And I thanked my friends. I said, I appreciate you not filming me with my head in the toilet, but for future reference, oh my God, you totally need to, because it's hilarious, it's relevant, and there's so many different directions you can go with that. So, case in point, as a media person, always be recording, whether it's video, audio, no matter what, always be recording, because you never know what you're going to get. Even if it's something nasty. So that was my little error. So anyhow, moving on to recalling some successes. This is another part of my webcast that I do to help for me, and I want you to, I want you to do as well if you feel up to it. Think about some successes that you haven't thought about in a while, or something recent that you've celebrated. So for me, and I was actually speaking about this with a friend of mine just a couple of days ago, talking about when I was taking voice lessons in college. I was taking a lot of music classes, and really no prerequisites. I mean, I took a couple there, but everything else was just the stuff I wanted to take. Fun stuff like performing arts, journalism. Mass comm, music, everything, media, everything I wanted to do. So at any rate, I was learning opera. And it was I remember my voice professor telling me, saying, look, you're the only student I have that can pull this off, and I need you. And it's just like, so will you please do it for the Christmas cantata, and or for the Christmas program? And this was in college, and I'd only been taking voice lessons maybe a semester, maybe two, I don't remember. But she had said, I need you to sing the Messiah. And for those of you who don't know, the Messiah is a cantata, I think, right? It's like 4.5 minutes long. It's in Latin, and it's a solo, a contralto solo. And because of my deep voice, she had asked me to do it and said, you're the only student I have who can pull this off. And I'm like, are you smoking crack? I've only had voice lessons for like one semester. So I did it. I accepted the challenge, because that's one thing I do. I never turn down an opportunity or a challenge, because that's the way you survive. I mean, that's the way you grow, right? So I'm a firm believer that if an opportunity comes my way, it's meant for me to jump on and get on top of it. So I do, regardless of how it turns out, because because there's something I need to learn or whatever. So I always just trust in God, and I just take it. And, no matter how scared I was, I did it anyways. So it was less than 2 weeks, about 10 days, I think it took me to learn and memorize the Messiah in Latin, and sing as a solo for the Christmas program in opera, opera, right? So I did that, and that was just something that, because I had recently spoke with a friend about it, it was something that was at the top of my head, and I wanted to celebrate that as a success and recall that, because it's one of the problems I have is remembering or recalling or even thinking about the good things in my life or the successes I've had, the awards I've won, or the things, great things I've done, because there's so much negativity there. And so many, terrible, thoughts and negative self-talk and all that other stuff. So hey, Melanie, what's up? So I just focus on doing, I work to, that's why I've incorporated this into my webcast, recalling successes and, celebrating them, because it's important to remember that as, especially when you're going through something terrible, to remember, all the things you've accomplished, all of the things you've overcome. So that's why I've added this into the webcast. So yes, I sang at the Messiah and learned it in under 2 weeks, like my first or second semester of opera voice lessons, and I sang it as a solo in Latin. So yay! Anyhow. I know, I'm sure that was a boring story. It would have been much better if you were there in person, trust me. So as far as connecting goes, what do you want to share for a story? Like today wasn't just National Devil Dog Day, it was also National Story Day, Share a Story Day. So that's kind of where I was with the gummies and the devil dogs and everything, and all that stuff. I was trying to combine the two, sharing a story and about cannabis and over medicating, and then the devil dog. So I kind of tied all that in. But what would you like? Is there something you want to share that today for National Story Day? Please do. You can do it right there in the comments. You can, of course, private message me if you want, whatever you want to do. This webcast is just as much about you as it is about me. It's, how we connect together, how we can, we can support one another. We can do all that good stuff. So, or if you want to send pictures of yourself eating a devil dog, I would love those. Yes, you can send me those pictures, and I promise I won't post them. I'll totally post them everywhere. So yeah, if you want to do that, send me those. And let's see what else on the agenda here. If you're going to do the devil dog thing, I mean, I don't need you inhaling them. It doesn't need to be like a race, the hot dog eating contest, dipping it in water and just shoving it down your throat, because I don't want anybody choking. Because that's just not going to be cool. So anyways, devil dogs or share a story today. And you're welcome to do either or both. And I think that's about it. And I just wanted to invite you to participate in any way you want. I'm looking for guests. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, if you have comments, you can always PM me, like, follow, share, download, so we can connect and, spread this optimistic, genuine love, support, and positivity network to others. So it's not just us, it's not just you, it's not just me, it's everybody. We get together and, we can just share. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with, or if you're not dealing with anything. If you just want to connect, I mean, this is the way to do it. And that's what I'm offering, is just this open network to grow and everyone share, like, follow, download, all that good stuff, and see what we can accomplish together as the webcast grows and develops and evolves, as I evolve, as you evolve, and, you never know what we can come up with together. So, oh yeah, I forgot something really big. I was working on this earlier, so let me see where I am. I hope I didn't forget it during the webcast. So I'm gonna play sitting down today, if that's okay. So I was working on this, of course, not long before I started the webcast, and hopefully, like I said, I can remember it. We'll see. Because it only took me, of course, like I said, I've been popping these bad boys out, like off the top of my head, like right before the webcast, just as an experiment and just to better myself, just to be better at writing music and coming up with stuff more off the cuff. Especially since it's been so long because of the pandemic that I've played with anybody. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. Okay, here we go. Which sounds good. Started off a little rough, but then I got it right back. So not bad for just coming up with it off the cuff here just not long ago, right before the webcast started. So that was that. And again, just closing with our words of wisdom, and that is from Australian athlete Andrew Murphy. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself. Keep that in mind. Okay, so try to, think to yourself what kind of walls you have in your mind, and think of the things that you want to do, the kind of dreams you have, the kind of goals you have, no matter the haters, no matter what anybody says. I don't care if people tell you you have no talent, you're never going to be successful, anything like that. Those people are jealous. Those people have no comprehension of what it's like to take a risk. And so screw them. Don't let them do that to you. So you don't build any walls. I understand it's hard when other people build walls inside your head, because that's what I deal with, and that's what a lot of people deal with, but you got to break those down. So I want to give you a sledgehammer here. So that's what this webcast Out of Your Comfort Zone is about, is to help you move on as well as me. So, and my the very last thing to close with is always, will is everything. Still difficult for me to find my will some days, but I know it's there, and you just kind of have to look, and then you have to find it. You have to latch onto it and use it to get you to where you want to be, because you're awesome, you're magnificent, you're special, you are unique, you're beautiful, and you're strong. So don't ever let anybody else make you feel or tell you anything different, because they're a goddamn liar. All right. Okay, have a good one. Happy Monday. Oh my God, it is Monday, right? Okay, happy Monday, and I will talk to you later.